I've been doing this a long time, and I was traveling around America in the 1990s. I was talking to whistleblowers who were from the inside of the military industrial intelligence complex. And they were telling me that flying saucers were being flown by the American military. Because it's a simple thing. If you can keep from the public the cutting edge of technology that you have, then when you start flying what you really have around, people look and go, well, humans haven't got this, so it's an alien operation of some kind. And I remember back in the 1990s, the Canadian journalist Serge Monast, who died in 1996 of a heart attack when he had no history of heart problems. The day after he'd spent the night in jail as part of a constant attack and intimidation of him by the authorities, after he began to reveal something called Proyecto Bluebeam. And this was a plan, he said, to create the illusion of a, quote, alien invasion that would, in one area, unite the world against a common enemy. Another aspect of possibility is that this alien invasion comes in as the savior of humanity after catastrophe unfolds. But the point is that the technology that he said would be used to scam this apparent alien invasion is very much with us now. And it was founded, he said, on holographic projections in the sky. And what Monast was talking about was, first of all, apparent ships in the sky, but also the projection of religious figures in the sky over areas of the world where that religious figure is most revered. So it would be Jesus in the Christian world, Mohammed in the Islamic world, and so on. And I remember, Gaz, back in the 1990s, when I was in America a lot of the time and researching this whole UFO alien subject, that there was complete dismissal from the authorities. You remember Roswell, it's a weather balloon, and oh no, there's no evidence, oh UFOs, oh yeah, just crazy conspiracy theorists, UFO nuts. And yet, you've seen in recent years how suddenly that has changed. Now the Pentagon are publishing reports from the experiences of Navy pilots who are reporting seeing craft that, from their perspective anyway, couldn't possibly do what they are witnessing them doing, like moving at incredible speeds, like over America, or coming out of the ocean off the west coast of America. I've heard that many times during the 1990s that people had seen that. And that they were changing direction at these fantastic speeds and then basically disappearing, which means leaving our reality that we can perceive, called visible light. And so I look at this and I look at what Monast talked about. And I think we have to be very, very streetwise to the fact that the fake alien invasion, whatever gloss or spin they put on it for their own benefit, i.e. centralization of power, is very much a possibility. And I remember too, there was a guy called Werner von Braun. He was a German. He was serving the Nazi party of Adolf Hitler. He was behind the V2 rockets that were fired on London. And then through something called Project Paperclip, he and a lot of other Nazi scientists, geneticists, mind control experts, including Joseph Mengele, the angel of death from the concentration camps, were spirited to America after the war to continue their work, only this time for the Americans. Although when you get to the level of what I call the global cult, country borders and country governments take on a very different perspective. It's actually one cult. And so Werner von Braun was the major figure behind the Saturn V rockets that are said to have powered the moon landings. And he was reported by the lady herself, his longtime assistant, after he died, that Werner von Braun had given her a list of things that were going to happen, and that all of them would be fake. And one of them in the list was there would be a fake alien invasion set up to manipulate the population into a mass response and behavior that would suit the ambitions and goals of the cult. So I'm looking at this more and more seriously now as we're seeing these reports, because it's a very strong possibility that they're going to play this. And Monash, as I recall, was talking about something like 2024 when this Project Bluebeam was planned to be played out.
Do you think with the timing of it, that it's a little bit about distraction as well, in the sense that you've got, obviously, the Epstein client list was supposedly meant to be released, and then it's become apparent to anyone that didn't realize anyway that the Americans bombed Nord Stream. And so actually it's almost like, quick, there's some aliens, look over there.
Yeah, well, that you've always got to watch for that. You know, if you look at a magician, he doesn't want you looking at the hand that's doing the trick. He wants you looking at the other one. So they do this all the time. You know, it's like that infamous line from a Tony Blair aide on 9/11 that this is a good day to bury bad news. In other words, the 9/11 attacks are obviously completely dominating the news. So if there's something you want to slip out that you don't really want to be noticed and reported, then this is a good day to do it. And that's the cynicism that we're looking at. So yeah, I mean, always that's a possibility. But I do think that in the overall scheme of this manipulation of the alien invasion, that we do need to keep very aware that this has been long in the planning and could well be played.